Hey guys, we are back with another video. I'm Kanikia.
And I'm Octavius.
And we are KO Love.
What it do, let's get into it.
Alright guys, so today we are going to be talking about our powerful testimony of how we were able to purchase our first home. And I hope it encourages someone, because when we were going through the process, it seems like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. The devil threw so many darts at us as we were trying to go through, but God came through, and as you see, we were sitting in our beautiful kitchen of our home. But we just wanted to share our story with you guys, and hopefully we can encourage somebody, because when we were going through this time, we were very discouraged, and we want to be just a breakthrough to somebody to let you know that don't worry. You can get through it with God. Anything is possible with God. So
That's right.
yeah, so I'll let you start.
All right, okay. So the story starts off with us actually moving in with my father-in-law, Kennedy's dad,
My dad and my stepmom.
and my mother-in-law. Yeah, that's where the story starts off. Well, before we even get into that, I want to start off by actually thanking Pastor Michael Todd.
Yes.
Pastor Michael Todd allowed God to utilize him as an instrument without even knowing it, to motivate us and to push us and to build our faith through this time, which we needed in this process. Through his series called Crazy Faith. So if you have not checked that out, please go and research it. Go and look it up. Crazy Faith.
Michael Todd.
Yeah. That's a powerful series that
Yes.
I'm telling you will definitely encourage you and motivate you to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. If anything else, at least build your faith.
Yeah.
So it start his series, and that crazy faith series threads our whole story together, because at so many points of the story and of the situation, it led us right back to the series and motivated us and helped to give us some more fuel to move forward. So, like I said before, moving in with our in-laws was the first. Well, with my in-laws was the first step of the process, and I gotta admit, I think you would agree with me. The whole thing at the beginning was smooth. I mean, it was going fast. It
Smooth.
yeah, it was going too smooth now looking back at it. But we got with Karen. That's Karen Foster was our realtor, and that's
she's
someone,
wonderful.
wonderful realtor, someone who definitely led us and guided us through the process and showed us the steps of what we needed to do, because we were new to this and we knew nothing about the process. But she found us a lender. We were approved by the lender for the amount that we were looking for. We found the home, the house that we're in right now, and we even got our closing date. So I mean, things were just moving along. I mean, they were moving along.
Yeah.
And it was right around that time, I want to say maybe about 2 months into the process, that we finally decided to go and check out the Crazy Faith series. My brother-in-law sent us the series, and it was one of those things like somebody sends you the video message, and sometimes you look at it, sometimes you don't, but it's set in our inbox forever. And she called me and she said, you need to go and take a look at that series. You need to start looking at it, because it's powerful. And from there, I started looking at it, and when I started looking at it, right from that point is when things started to kind of take a turn for the negative at that time. And
it's like Satan knew that we were trying to restore our faith. He was like, "Oh, you brought God into this?
Yeah.
Like, oh, y'all really standing on faith. Like everything we did, like the series was just so powerful. I mean, it's still powerful with any situation that you may be going through. We don't have a plug or nothing like that, but you really need to go, seriously go and watch this Crazy Faith. It will help you in all aspects of your life. So we started that journey, and it just seemed like I said, Satan was just trying to just destroy you. He was upset that we were standing on faith, and we had so many situations.
Yeah, and because he knew at the end of it that something like this was going to happen, that it was going to be such a powerful story that eventually we were going to have to come back around and share the story with someone else, and then it's just that one blessing for us is just going to continue to turn into more and more blessings for somebody who may hear it and get a breakthrough from it.
Exactly.
But getting back to the story, so like I said, everything was going smooth, and we had got our date, and we were moving forward with everything. And that's when the first situation happened. So the first situation that happened throughout the process was we received a call, and this is probably, I want to say, about a month before our closing date. We received our closing date, and about a month before we got to that date, we got a call from our lender. And yeah, they called us and they said we have a situation and we need to talk to the both of you to figure out what we're gonna have to do.
She overlooked some things.
Yeah, basically.
Which we found out after she overlooked a lot of things.
Yeah. So she overlooked a situation that was dealing with my credit. It was a college, a student loan. Yeah, it was a student loan, and living life and going through some things. Didn't keep up with it the best way that I was supposed to at the beginning of the loan, and so that was actually showing up. And before we got approved, for whatever reason, she overlooked it, didn't see it. So now we're a month away from closing, and she calls and she says, this is going to stop the process up. We basically need you to go and get a letter from the college lender explaining why in that time period in your life you were delinquent on the loan. Come on, sounds crazy.
Yes.
Like anyone who knows anything about lenders and loans and different things that there's not a lender that's going to give you a letter telling to try to help you out and to explain why you didn't pay or why you were delinquent at a point in your life. That it's not just unheard of.
Yeah, it is.
And so she gave us that news, and so basically right away we were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like what is it that we're gonna do? How are we gonna move forward from this point? There's no way we can get this letter. It's a wrap. We're done, right? But right in that instance, it's like God referred back or reflected back something that we heard in the Crazy Faith series. Like I said, it always goes back to the Crazy Faith series. Reflected something or showed me something that I had heard in the Crazy Faith series, and immediately I called her and I said, let's pray about this thing, and we're gonna go and we're just gonna do what we got to do. Faith without works is dead. That's something that my father-in-law says, like faith without works is dead. And so at that point, I knew we had to do something. We could not take no for an answer, and we had to push forward. And so what I did, like I said, we prayed. I jumped in the car. I drove over to the lender's office because I knew exactly where the student loan office was for this particular lender, and I went in. To keep it short, basically I spoke to 3 different individuals. Explained the first nice lady that I spoke to when I walked to the front desk. I explained to her what it was that we needed. I said, this is the situation, this is the type of letter I need, and this is what's going on. And she basically looked at me and she said, baby, I've never seen them write a letter, let alone a letter saying what you needed to say. So I just don't know about this, and from there, she contacted somebody who contacted somebody who contacted somebody who finally got me to the person that I needed to get to, who wrote that letter.
Yep,
and we got the letter.
Yep.
Like that was the first hurdle that we were able to get over. We got the letter. The letter basically said everything that I needed to say. I thanked them. I got the letter. I came out. I called her, called the lender. Told them about what it was that we did. We're happy. We're excited. We're ready to go. Right. But now there was a situation where I actually had to go back in the building.
He had to go back.
Had to go back.
3 people.
After talking to 3 people.
Already thinking you were crazy.
After they in there looking at me like I'm crazy, I have to go back in the building. And mind you, you gotta get buzz in the building so they see me on the screen. They see. So when I walk back in the office, the lady says, "Oh Lord, baby, what do you need now? You got the letter. What is it now?" And I'm like, I know. I said, I just need one more thing, and I will be out of here. I will be out your way. And she said, "What is it?" So I explained to her on the letter what the situation was. Is the letter actually showed where I was delinquent on the loan. At the time period I went delinquent on the loan, and so that wouldn't have helped us. Because if I would have turned that letter in as an explanation to the lender and they see the delinquency up there, it just wouldn't have matched up. So anyway, I had to go back in, talk to her. She understood what it was, and they were able to present the letter back to me without that particular thing showing up on the letter. So that was the first hurdle, the first thing. And like I said, keep in mind through this story, every time God, shows up, shows out, makes something happen, and works things out, the devil is always on the other end of that battle, fighting back, trying to mess up our faith and trying to just destroy what it is that we have going on. So as soon as we were able to accomplish that or get over that hurdle, the next thing that happened was I think it was the next day with the paper situation.
So I had a file, so I was keeping up with everything, keeping everything organized, everything that I faxed, emailed. I had my receipts because this is a big deal, so I want to make sure everything was correct.
Yeah.
So the lender, she called and she's like, "Hey, I got all the papers, but I didn't get this one page, which was the page that he went through all these hurdles to get from the college lender." Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, it wasn't like it was the first page or last page. It was like the third page out of 5. So I'm like, I know I sent this. Like, I'm already annoyed with this lady anyway. So I'm like, okay, I sent this. I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I'm like, okay, I call him. I'm upset. So he's like, it's fine. Like, just resend it. We got it. It's okay. Don't, just resend it. So I pull my stuff, and now I can't find the paper. That one page. So I'm like, okay.
The letter that we had just fought, prayed, had faith for, that very thing that God worked out, now is missing. Now we can't find it. She needs it to move forward.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I know I'm not tripping because I'm like, I sent them. I'm looking at my sent stuff. It says all 5 pages were sent. But then when I'm looking in the file, it's only 4 pages. So I'm like, what is going on? So I don't know what happened. Maybe like a few hours later, I just happened to check because I'm like looking everywhere, all in my job, just like everywhere. I'm like, did I leave it somewhere? What's going on? So I happened to look in my printer, and the paper was jammed inside of the scanner. So now, mind you, this was the day before. I've sent like 4 or 5 other scan stuff, no issues, nothing on the printer popped up to say there's an error. You have a paper jam like it does every single time. Like, y'all know there was nobody was saying because how did I scan other stuff through there with this paper jammed up in there? It was so crazy. Like, there's no other explanation for that except it was nothing but saying. But God too, because he allowed me to go in there and find that paperwork. Because I mean, who's to say it would have probably been months down the line that I would have ever figured that out if I'm steady like scanning stuff and printing stuff without an error, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we got past that, we found that, we sent that over to her. So that was the second thing that he tried to throw it our way. So, he kind of threw a little small thing. That's small compared to the other things. Very small.
I mean, this story is like a roller coaster of
yes.
stuff. There's some of our family members, some of our friends that know this story. And mind you, even when they watch this, there's some things that they know that we're, kind of talking around so that we can keep, as I said, stay true to our time. But it was a lot of stuff, a roller coaster up and down of different things. The next situation that happened after the paper situation, after having to go get the letter was, so like I said, that was about a month before closing. Now we're probably at about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks before closing. They call us and they say, same lender calls us and says, another oversight. And that there was they underestimated exactly what it was that we had to come to the table with for our closing costs.
And this is a huge underestimation.
Yeah.
Not like, $100, $200.
$7,000. $7,000.
That you want us to come up with in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. And mind you, so like I said, the process was going faster than we were expecting it to go. We moved in, that was going smooth. We're saving up, we're hustling, we're doing what we got to do. I think I had got like 2 part-time jobs. Like,
so we were moving. We moved in with my dad and my stepmom like the middle of August.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we closed on our house like the middle of December,
or
like the end of December.
The end, like right before Christmas.
So that's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
So we already, we had a little money saved up, but not enough to be doing a closing, down payment, like all this stuff. So
we hustling.
We do what we can do, but now it's 2 weeks before, and you telling us $7,000
under the cost that it is that we need to close on this home. Mind you, we have been down to the house. We have picked it.
Our
my
daughter
has
room.
been into her room.
Yes.
So we picked her room out. Like, we brought family members down here. So we like, Lord have mercy, here we go.
Yeah.
But once again, what did I say that threaded this whole story together? The Crazy Faith series.
Yes.
And when I tell you, every time it seemed like the devil or an attack was happening, it would be like, let me go and watch the next part of this series.
And this is not exaggeration on Control, but we're not exaggerating. Like, I know you're probably, okay, they keep saying they took them back. Like, this is literally how it happened. We were already watching the series, but it would just be like, the part that he was on will always be like right on track with what we were going through. Like every time it was like Crazy Faith, Baby Faith, like Maybe Faith. We went through all of those different emotions of the series that he had. I think it was 16 parts.
I gotta go back and
or 8, something like that. But it was just like it matched up with the situation that we were going through every time. When we were starting to doubt what was going on. Like, we're not gonna be able to get this. We had the Maybe Faith series. It was just like, it was so powerful. But Back to he was saying he went back to.
So I went back and I looked. I think they came with the money situation, and I said, you know what? I said, it's time to go back in, because mind you, we were watching some of it together, but at the same time we were watching it, separately as well, because we were both, going through our journey together, but also going through our own individual things as well. So, I went back to the series and I watched it, and like she said, it was right on time. And so what we did is we came together, we prayed again, we poured on our resources, family support, us hustling, like we did what we had to do, and pretty much got up everything that it was that we needed. And so that wasn't something that was gonna stop us. Got over that hurdle, and it's like, once again, like I said, God comes in, the devil's on that other end trying to make sure that he's doing everything he can to try to stop what it is that God is trying to do, because he knows he's gonna get the glory out of it. And so like I said, he came back, and the next situation that happened after all of that, now we're about a week.
1 week.
Now we're a week.
1 week.
Away from closing on our home.
You know how excited you are?
Man.
You get ready. First of all, we have our whole family. We have a newborn, husband and wife, and a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
We're living at my dad's house. But we're living there. We're excited. We want our own space. We're happy. It's a brand new journey. And now 1 week. We come with this.
Yeah, 1 week before we were supposed to close.
Now y'all ain't gonna believe
on
this.
the house.
All right.
Basically, what happened was we lost our lender.
Well, hold on. We got to tell them what happened.
Okay.
So we have a car payment at that time, and so when you're purchasing a home, your bank account is pretty much like held hostage. Like you can't. They don't want you to make any big purchases. If you make a purchase, they want to know where is it going, what you're doing. Like you're like, man, you in my business? Don't do that. But like really, they all in your business. And so us not knowing, like we said, we were brand new home purchasers. So we were like, okay, the payment was supposed to come out like a week before close, like that same week.
However that whole situation was happening, I want to say this, and I'm going to cut you off, but we, like she said, we were green, we were new in the process, and there was some things that we were thinking that we should have done that we later found out was not a need for us to do, which is what this situation was. We called our other lender who we had our car loan with, and we knew that the payment was getting ready to come out at a specific time, and we were also in the mindset of like, we don't want anything coming out of this account. We don't want them saying anything. We've had these other situations that have happened. We've done what we've had to do to get this money together. We are just like we don't want anything happening. So we called the other lender that our car loan was with, spoke to them, told them the whole situation, and said, could you please hold off on transferring or taking these funds out of the account for the payment until we close out everything that we need on this end, and then we will come right back on this date and make the payment. Mind you, we were under the time.
Never missed a payment.
Never missed a payment. Never been late for a payment. Exactly. Everything was good. Called them, talked to them. They gave us the okay that we were good. Cool. So this happened. This happened like a little bit before all of this situation
like 3 days before.
No, I mean at the time that we called and to the time that it showed up on the credit.
Okay.
So this happened before. Mm-hmm. So when we got to the week before closing, all of a sudden that comes back on us, because the lender then calls us and says, hey, something else just popped up on your credit. We were able to get past the college limit thing, which was, a hurdle, and now this has popped up. Basically what happened was, even though we got the okay from the other lender, computers, the way systems work, it still reported the payment late, which then popped up on our credit at the very time, at the week before we were getting ready to close. Yep. That's when it decided to pop up on the credit. What do you think this is?
And it was so crazy because you're supposed to have 30 days, like a 30-day grace period before they even send it to your credit. We weren't even, I don't even think it was a week. Maybe like a week and a half or something like that. It was way under the time when they're supposed to report it to being late. So we were just like, are you serious? So basically she told us, you're denied. Denied. It's nothing that we can do for you. It was in November? I'll call you in January. We'll try this again. You have a fresh start. You guys will have enough time to get this taken care of. And we were at that point, we just felt so defeated.
We didn't even say we had already put money down. We had already we had already put a deposit down. We had already got the inspection done.
The inspection, this stuff not cheap.
We paid for that. We had put money into had money invested in the situation already, and money that we would have lost. She said we were done. She said that she would call us back next year, And from that point, we lost our lender a week before we were
so
getting ready to
now
close.
a week before closing, we have no lender.
Yep.
Well, we don't want to hold y'all too long.
Yeah.
But we will be back with part 2 because the way that this story turned around, you guys would think that we were lying. But if you know God, you know that God can do anything. He's always in control of every situation. So we're going to give y'all some time first to go and research Pastor Michael Todd's Crazy Faith so that you guys can get on the journey and get past whatever situation it is that you're going through. But we will be back soon to tell y'all what happened because it's mind-blowing. So please share, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back soon. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.